My name is Dr. Janice L. View. I'm Associate Professor Emerita from George Mason University.
I'm Dr. Elizabeth DeMalder. People call me Betsy. I am a professor in the College of Education and Human Development at George Mason University.
I'm Dr. Stacia Stribling. I'm an assistant professor at George Mason University in the College of Education and Human Development.
Hi, my name is Laura Dahlman, and I am a doctoral candidate at George Mason University's College of Education and Human Development.
We thought it was really important, since most of the teachers in public schools in the United States, 80% of them are white women, white middle-class women, who are not necessarily from the communities where they teach, that it was really important to figure out how to document our learnings about doing this work with that population, but also then teachers of color who are working in schools that are predominantly white with a multiracial student population, how the principles of anti-racist education can inform their practice.
We work together, and we've really learned through trial and error over many years of working together some of the most effective approaches to working with teachers around anti-racist pedagogy. And so we wanted the book to be a resource for both teachers and teacher educators to do anti-racist teaching. The book provides a roadmap and some specific strategies for building capacity around this work.
We realized that a book was just going to be a great idea because we teach a cohort style. We're co-teaching the whole 2-year master's program. And so we have a really strong holistic view of what it looks like to take teachers along this journey, and all of the pieces that we've been working on and that we keep changing and sort of following the needs of the teachers and what's going on in their settings and their contexts. And we thought a book would be a great way to kind of organize all of this stuff that we've done and share that with others.
Certainly, we don't, at this point in our nation's history, need any more inspiration than the attention that Black Lives Matter and the attention that racism has recently had. That doesn't mean, however, that it hasn't always been true. Of course it has. And so the inspiration for writing the book is the teaching experience that Janice and Stacia and Betsy have had for these many years, and trying to address the racism, the systemic racism that is present in our culture and in our country, and to help develop teachers that can broaden their lens and broaden their understanding and uncover their implicit biases so that they can go on to be transformed, hopefully themselves, but then go on to be transformative for their own students.
Anybody who wants to learn about education and what it means to be an anti-racist educator would be interested in this book. It also has highlights and insights that anybody could use to think about how to connect with their own sense of implicit bias and the ways that we move through the world in different ways, and to recognize that we all have a need to be more aware and more proactive and reactive in a world that's racist, unfortunately.
What I think is so powerful about this text is to use it with people who are in doc programs as well, to say, hey, you're going to be teaching these teachers. And, it's not just getting in there and lecturing to them and telling them the things they need to know. It's how do you create those experiences that will allow them to grow in ways that, they can do this difficult work, because it's not just read a book and you're good to go. There's experiences that you need to create. So yeah, teacher educators for sure. And people who create professional development experiences for in-service teachers.
Teacher educators, colleges of education, perhaps with policymakers, and certainly with maybe accrediting bodies that might look to what is necessary in a teacher accreditation or a teacher education program to help develop an anti-racist teaching in our teaching population.
Well, of course, we hope that students benefit the most, right? By having anti-racist teachers. Certainly classroom teachers will learn from the stories of colleagues that are in similar situations as they. But I think perhaps the primary audience are teacher educators and people who are responsible for creating teacher professional development experiences for classroom teachers.
One of the strengths of the book would be the voices of teachers that come through in what we write. We use a lot of the teachers' words and reactions, so it's not just things that we believe, but it's supported by the things that teachers are doing and saying and experiencing. And so it's exciting to read about the firsthand experiences they have in being part of these activities and being part of their development as anti-racist educators. And so that's a really neat aspect of the book, to be able to kind of get into their classrooms and get into their experiences to know what that journey has been like for them.
It certainly incorporates the curricula, the critical pedagogy, the resources that are needed. But maybe what is missing from other textbooks is the way that it's done, the importance of relationship and how they do it. They take sort of a social constructivist approach, and through their relationships with their students, they can then transform those teachers. So those teachers then becomes kind of constitutive to who they are, so that they can go on into their own classrooms and hopefully then change the experience of their own students.
I think the fact that we are teacher educator practitioners and researchers is a thing that makes this book distinctive. The fact that we've drawn on many decades of experience teaching this way and teaching classroom teachers as public education has changed over the last 25 years. It draws on that experience and also merges teacher leadership, teacher research, educational policy, and teacher classroom practice together in a way that feels unique to us.
I think it is important to recognize how valuable interpersonal relationships are in the teaching and learning experience. And our book really does emphasize not only the context of teaching and the content of teaching, the kinds of things teachers are teaching, but how valuable it is to create relationships with students. And we try to model that with our own students, getting to know them, helping them and us to sort of understand each other in ways that help us to support each other. And we ask teachers to do the same in their classrooms.
Suitable for use in your course syllabus and as an integral resource for research advancements within your department, this publication should be included within your institution's library along with these related publications. Offered in print, ebook, print plus ebook, and as a part of IGI Global's Emphasize Books, this publication is available for purchase directly through IGI Global's online bookstore, as well as many other major booksellers and platforms such as EBSCOhost, Gobi, ProQuest, and Oasis. Recommend to your librarian today.